Hey, Tim here again. Time for another episode of Tim on Everything. Oh boy. You know, today what I wanted to talk about is a lot of people have asked me why I do this. And that's what I thought I'd talk about today. Why do I do this? And the honest answer is, I don't know. I have no idea why I'm sailing around the world. It certainly doesn't add up on paper. I mean, geez, I'm absolutely broke. As in the, sometimes I can't even buy food or do maintenance on the boat broke. I miss my kids. I miss my grandkids. And I get incredibly lonely sometimes, especially on these long passages where, you know, I'm hundreds of miles out in the open ocean by myself. So certainly on paper, sailing around the world just doesn't add up. But yet, here I am. And the question still is, why do I do this? And again, the answer is, I don't know. You know, I think part of it might have been my wanting to escape. Bottom line is, you know, I had a flight school that went bankrupt, and that crushed my spirit quite a bit. I was single dad for a long time, and that, as much as I love my kids and have a great relationship with them, that took a lot of energy from me. And I just got tired of all the complaints and you know, flank wars, and I needed a way out, and sailing seemed to be my way out. I think also a big part of it is I've always been an adventurer. I love trying new things, and yeah, I fail on probably more than I succeed, but that doesn't stop me from getting up and trying it again. You know, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I always like these people that talk about on their Facebook and social media how they're an adventurer and a risk taker, when I guess in their mind they are, and I guess that's probably okay. But you know, to me, an adventure of going on a 5-mile hike on a Sunday afternoon when it's sunny, not really what I'm talking about. To me, an adventure is, it's in a storm in the middle of the ocean and you have a hole in the boat. Are you got to survive? That kind of adventure. But then that probably doesn't appeal to many people, and maybe that says more about my mental state than anything else. But certainly the adventure part of this is I guess one reason why I continue to do this. Many times I've thought about just selling the boat and leaving, but I'm always interested in what's around the next corner, what that next ocean might be like. And now, you know, here I am in Indonesia, halfway around the world. I suspect I'll be back in the States sometime late 2020, another year and a half from now. So I'm gonna stick it out and make it happen. Some of the advantages I found of being out here is my health has increased tremendously. Dang, I've lost 30 pounds since I left my home in Reno. I think my mental state has improved quite a bit. I'm not as angry as I used to be. But again, doesn't really add up on paper as to why I continue to do this, and boy, do I question it quite a bit. But you know, even in the dark times where I was totally broke, as I am all the time, and wondering how I'm going to make things happen, something would always come up. Something would always happen to allow me to solve the problem. And whether that's some kind of intervention from, you know, something beyond our realm of experience, which I wouldn't be surprised, or not, you know, that has been my reality. I've always figured out a way to make things happen. As the Rolling Stones used to say, you can't always get what you want, but you always get what you need, and that's certainly been true in my life for the last year and a half, and I suspect that if more people would just kind of relax and open up, that would probably be true in their life as well. You know, the other thing I've noticed as well is a lot of my friends and acquaintances my age, I'm going to be 60 here in a few weeks, yay, can't believe I lived this long. But they're all dying around me. And I guess there's that sense that, you know, I just didn't want to be another person that finally got out of their cubicle and went home to die. That was not on my proverbial radar as something that I wanted to do. So here I am, trying to sail around the world, always looking for somebody to join me. That's kind of funny as well, because when I'm by myself, I'm always looking for a crew member, and very often when I have crew, I'm always wishing I was by myself. So sometimes I find myself caught between these two worlds of always wanting to be someplace else until I get there, and then realizing, you know, this isn't all it cracked out to be. Maybe I should go back to where I started from. That's not bad either. So as in many things with this Tim on Everything outline, I'm probably rambling here, but you know, again, why am I doing this? It doesn't add up on paper, but it's very seductive. This adventure lifestyle, this, you know, always trying to think through and solve problems, because face it, on a boat, you're the only one out there that can solve the problem. You know, I find that kind of fun to do. It's a big chess game, and just the experiences of the world that you have, and just the confidence that you build in yourself, knowing that, you know, heck, there isn't many things that I get myself into that I can't figure out a solution how to get out of. You feel alive doing that. It's that living in the moment, not worrying about what's happened in the past, not necessarily worrying about what's going to happen in the future, but putting all your energy and concentration into what's happening right now. That idea of the absolute, of timelessness. I mean, that is, that's what life should be all about, is now. You know, not always pining away for the future, not always crying, as they say, over spilt milk. You can't do anything about that. Of course, it's easier to talk about that than to live it. You know, I guess I still harbor some anger towards my divorce, primarily because I still know what I did wrong. But on the other hand, I look and say, well, that's in the past. Can't change it. What can I do today to enjoy my life and make my mark on this planet? And that's what sailing is to me right now. Yeah, I'll get home in a year and a half and go back to work. Probably back to flying airplanes, hopefully as a single engine air tanker pilot. I think that would be kind of awesome, and I'm pretty sure I have all the requisite skills to do something like that. And I don't think I'll ever give up sailing either. I'll probably continue to sail seasonally. Will I go around the world again? Who knows? Been there, done that. It's a big world, lots of water. But I think, you know, again, why am I doing this? People would look and think I'm crazy. Sometimes I think I'm crazy as well, because it's such a bizarre, unique lifestyle. But then if I wouldn't be doing this, I wouldn't be in this awesome place, this little island of Gili Gedi in Indonesia, very close to Bali. You know, I wouldn't have met some of the fantastic people who today I consider my very close friends. And I certainly wouldn't have had the adventures that I've had because I was willing to take a chance and leave. And take a chance, whoa, did I take a chance. You know, when I did leave in November 2017, I pretty much sold everything I owned from the flight school, paid off as many of the bills as I could, and then left the country with a whopping $300 US in my pocket. And here I am, 18 months later, wishing I had $300 in my pocket, but still going. So money was not the issue. I think the bigger issue to a lot of people in trying to get out and do something like this is just having the imagination to imagine they want to do something like this, and then the courage to say, great, I'm walking out the door, I'm going. I think that's the hardest thing for most people, is that first step to just say, I am doing it, I'm leaving. And once you get out there and start doing it, I think all the pieces fall in place. There's never been a time where I've been in a position where, as I've said, I couldn't figure out things and I couldn't get the things that I wanted. I didn't have the money that I needed. Somehow it all seems to work itself out. So there you have it. Why am I doing this? I guess partially to escape, partially for the adventure, partially for the self-awareness that this adventure is given to myself, and a lot of it just to feel alive, that I'm out here living each day to the best degree that I can, experiencing as much as I can. And I know there's a lot of things that I'm missing. You know, maybe I'll have time still to experience all these other things, but at least I'm out here trying the best that I can. I may not be the smartest sailor or the fastest sailor, but I'm out sailing. And I guess, you know, everybody's life is a story, and you alone are the only person that could really tell that story. So if I gave any suggestion to my friends, is to trust in yourself, trust your abilities, trust your ability to solve problems and to make things happen, and go do it. Don't wait. Get out there and do things. Try things. And I think it'll be like a snowball effect, you know, an avalanche. We'll start off small, and one possibility will give rise to several more possibilities, and before you know it, you'll be an adventure junkie and trying to sail around the world as well. Anyways, enough of my little gospel here. I guess it's time to go back and jump in the pool or cool down. It's bloody hot out here. This is Tim on Sailing Vessel Intrepid, wishing everybody a fantastic day and a wonderful life. Tim out.